YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka the Medusa. Hey, if this your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell every time I put up new content. Listen, people, every time, excuse me, that I come on here, actually I really try to give y'all like the best content possible. Not to say that everybody else don't do the exact same thing what I try to do, but for me, right, I actually really try to go like above and beyond what everybody else does. With that being said, like I say, right, if a fire starts, okay, you come put the fire out, right? Then a lot of people may actually really come and be like, okay, well, how did the fire start it, right? And then you be like, okay, well, that's how it started. I'm the motherfucker that's gonna actually really say, okay, this is why the fire started. So with that being said, I'm gonna talk about 4 individuals, right? 3 that you may know of, 1 that you may not, right? I'm gonna talk about Emmitt Till, I'm gonna talk about Rosa Parks, I'm gonna talk about Trayvon Martin, and I'm gonna talk about Claudette Colvin, right? So that being said, we gonna start with Emmitt Till first. Right? Everybody knows, everybody should know, right, about the whole Emmitt Till deal, right? He came down, so-called whistle at a white woman, and you actually really know what the end result was. But the thing about it though is this, people, back in 1955, right? This was like regular, standard issue shit, right? This was something that you didn't do back then in 1955. So for the most part, why the fuck was this news? And then if you actually really go back and look at out of this guy, he was a teenager, 14 years old. And we only got 3 pictures on this motherfucker? Okay. That right there should tell you something. Where are the baby pictures? Right? Out of 14 years, you mean to tell me you only took 3 pictures of your son, your so-called son, right? So the thing about it though is this, right? So-called slavery, so-called white folks against so-called black folks. So we supposed to have our freedom. At least that's what Abraham Lincoln told us, or want to have us believe, but then he only did that shit because he was trying to still stay in office. Pretty much like how Obama did with the whole motherfucking lesbian community. Another subject. But basically all what I'm telling y'all is this. Out of 3 photos, out of 14 years, right? But you actually really gonna come up with 3 photos. And then the Ploys was always there. They got off. But then later on, the woman that he supposedly had whistled to, she later comes out and say, oh, it didn't happen. Right? But this is what the fuck you held on to. Somebody died, or at least that's what the fuck they want us to believe. You can beat a person up, okay? I used to work for a funeral home. You can beat a person's ass, right? But you ain't gonna never have nobody look like how Emmitt Till did, right? Just because you throw somebody in some water, right? You dead, so you gonna float. So explain all of the fucked up ass how his face was. His face was that so-called fucked up, right? Okay, yeah, whatever. Go back, look at, if you can actually really find it, because YouTube, they real smart about hiding shit now, so you really gonna have to look. Emmitt Till hoax. That's all I'm gonna say. They've been trying to actually really do this shit like forever today. And for those of y'all already know about the whole Trayvon Martin thing, right? Because the thing about it though is this. George Zimmerman got off by means of self-defense. And I've always said this. Every state they have to put out what laws are actually really being passed in their state and in their city, right? That's just the rule, right? So if your ass don't show up for it, then they're gonna think that everything is cool. So George Zimmerman got off, but the thing about it though, Trayvon Martin's dad was a Mason, or he was a Mason. So he was trying to actually really get up into the higher ranks. So he sacrificed his son. But then again, don't take my word for it. Go back, look at other footage, right? And then you decide what the hell is going on, right? So if we got Emmitt Till out of the way, we got Trayvon Martin out of the way. Now we gonna talk about Rosa Parks. Cedric the Entertainer said it the best in Barbershop. Rosa Parks was nothing but a hoe. And for a lot of y'all, Cedric the Entertainer, or the character that was played by Cedric the Entertainer, actually really told the truth, because that bitch was an Eastern Star, right? She was not the first black woman to refuse to give up her seat to a so-called white person. Claudette Colvin, look her up. She was the first one to do it. And then it is actually on record that folks said, yes, she was the one that did it, but we gonna go with Rosa Parks, because they felt like Rosa Parks would get more pull out of it versus Claudette Colvin. Now, if that don't sound like if she was an Eastern Star, I don't know what it is, right? Again, Google Claudette Colvin, or go on YouTube, type up Claudette Colvin, right? It's there, right? And then last but not least, old Rodney King. Everybody, this was the latest and greatest, before the whole Trayvon Martin thing, Kanika Jenkins, and all this kind of stuff. Everybody was in a goddamn uproar because they thought these so-called white policemen beat up on a so-called black person. But then if you actually really go back and look at the footage, if you getting your ass beat, and if you're old school like me, right? When your parents whooped your ass with a belt, you drew up, you flinched, you covered up, you ran. Rodney King didn't do none of that shit. And he was getting hit with billy clubs. And then if you actually really pay close attention to the footage, a lot of those so-called swings, the police officers was missing. But then, like I say though, y'all want to sit up and say, oh, he was a strong black man, this, that, and the third. And then y'all want to sit up here and y'all actually really think that slavery happened. Bitch, please, right? Anytime when somebody hit you with any goddamn thing, you gonna flinch, you gonna cover up, or when you think your ass is finna get hit, you finna flinch, you finna cover up, you finna run off, you finna do something. Rodney King didn't do none of that stuff, and then y'all wonder why that those police officers got off being not guilty. Because they didn't lay a hand on the motherfucker, right? But then, black folks get mad, you want to go tear up shit, right? But then you also got to really stop and think about it, right? They probably wanted that shit out of there in the first place. The ploy has always been there. to try to separate the masses. And y'all haven't figured that shit out yet. Y'all sit up here talking about, oh, it's racism this, racism that, racism the other. And a lot of y'all don't even actually really know what it is to actually really be a racist. Right? I am the ultimate racist. And you know why? Because I know why you got 2 eyes, 2 ears, why you got 20, your rib cage is 24, 12 and 12. Your vertebrae, 33, right? You got 12 pints of blood. Average human heart rate is anywhere from 70 to 72 beats per minute, right? I know all of that. Racism, so-called racism, ain't never been about color. Just because I like you or don't like you because of you black, look at me. I am not black, but look at my tattoos. My tattoos are black. You can see those, but you want to call me black. Got it. Got it. But this is what y'all want to believe. Y'all basing racism off of color. And then on top of it, it's the wrong type of color. Right? So, go back. Do the research. Don't take my goddamn word for it. I might be telling you bullshit. But I done gave y'all references. So with that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your grandma, pawpaw, uncle, next door neighbor across the street, round the corner. Paulus Harris, the Medusa. I'm gonna tell y'all what the fuck is going on. Unlike everybody else. I'm gonna holler at y'all.